Hello and welcome to Principal Talk. I'm Superintendent Don Kilmick talking with our building principals. We're very, very excited about the start of school for 2020. It's going to feel a little bit different. And so that's why the four of us are talking today to talk through some of the stuff for our parents and our community and for our students. One of the things I would like to start off with saying is, as parents and staff members, as adults, it's just so critical that we approach this school year with a level of enthusiasm and excitement for our children, because they're going to feed off of our energy. As long as we're excited about it and we know that we're doing everything we can to keep everybody safe and healthy, I think that kids feed off of that energy. Would you guys agree?
Absolutely.
Oh, always. Yeah, definitely.
So, why are we starting the school year this year? I know that's kind of a weird question to kick off, but why? Why 2020? Why are we going to school this fall?
But I'll like to take that one. We need normalcy. We need to try and get as much normalcy as we can in our lives. All of us here are parents, and we all have students, and we get to see, or we have to see, the struggles that they're having by not having normalcy in their life. And we want to provide them with something that seems normal. Plus, we also know that face-to-face interactions is so important to the kids and so important to education.
Absolutely.
And a big part of that is why we decided to do the soft start, is we want to make sure that we are providing the safe environment for the students. And if there are things that we need to adjust once we get them back here face to face, we can, especially having them alternate days that they're coming. Obviously, you've probably seen some of the communications where students with the last names A through K will come Monday and Wednesday the first week. And then students with L through Z will be here Tuesday, Thursday, with Friday being a virtual day for everyone. That Friday virtual day will give us a chance to tweak some things, to really disinfect the schools and do extra sanitizing and cleaning, and also provide teachers with an opportunity to adjust their instruction so that we are providing the best model of instruction for our students. If we can get them back here, that's our goal.
Yeah, I agree. Our business is such a people business. And I can appreciate being a new administrator. With the soft start, we're going to be able to have a chance to try some of these new procedures and get the kids and the staff used to how we're going to have to do business. And it's going to be different than what it's been in the past. And I can appreciate that, all the way down to our lunch service, our food service, having a chance to get, a chance to see how these new systems are going to work. So I think it's fantastic that we're starting with a soft start.
So one of the things that's interesting about our school year is we're starting August 24th, which is as earliest as I can remember of us ever starting. And so we've got 2 full weeks before Labor Day. And so those 2 weeks are where our soft start is, where we're really ramping up, and we have 50% of our students on campus with 100% of our staff, just to make sure that we're training everybody in our new procedures and protocols, because everything's going to look and feel a little bit different. For example, what's going to be different this year about drop off or pickup?
I know at the elementary, when students are dropped off in the morning, they're going to go directly to their classrooms. Eventually, there will be sidewalks. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, there'll be sidewalks up to every classroom door. So students are going to walk right up to their classroom. At Ling Elementary, we'll have extra adults out there showing them where they need to go. But rather than having all the students go into the gym in the morning waiting for their classes to start, they're going to go directly to their classrooms, so we can limit the contact they have with other students. At the little elementary, we will have the teachers there taking them directly to their classrooms, so that again, over there, we can also limit the interactions. And part of that soft start is having 50% capacity will allow us to tweak those things to make sure that it is the best drop-off process that we can possibly have. And then pickup will be staggered as well, and the students will go out of their classroom doors from there. So they really won't have a lot of their day where they are in the classroom, in the hallways or things like that, other than their classrooms.
From a middle school standpoint, we're going to enter through the same building doors that we would have entered in previously. But when the students arrive here, they are going to be going right immediately to their classroom as well.
Okay, so directly to their first hour class is
Yep.
the plan.
And that's
Is-
going to be the same in the high school. We're going to have the same entrance points that we've used in the past. But we want to try and eliminate some of the congregation areas to begin with. And they, just like the middle school, they're going to go directly to first hour.
So, well, what are we doing with lockers? Because that seems like a place that people just love to congregate. I know when I was in school, and I'm sure when the three of you were in school, that's where it all happened. Is you hung out by your locker. So, what are we doing with lockers?
Well, lockers obviously is a highlight. Everybody loves to decorate their locker and get their locker set up. But the problem with lockers is that they're so close together. And so when we have students that might be trying to access their locker, and they're probably placed in their locker by alphabet, and they're also here at school by alphabet. So really, we're trying to limit that contact with the locker, at least to start the year. And then hopefully as things start to ease off, we will go ahead and issue those lockers maybe at a later date. And I know for my kids, especially the kiddos coming from Ling, they're going to be pretty nervous and anxious about that. But they don't need to worry about that. We'll allow for time and teachers and other adults to come help practice when that becomes a thing when we get those lockers. But we don't need to worry about that to start out.
So, breakfast. The way to start the morning, breakfast and lunch. What's gonna be different about breakfast and lunch?
Breakfast and lunch, they'll come directly to their classrooms. So all students have the option to get the hot lunch each day, but they also will have the option to get the breakfast in the morning as well. So the food service department has been working tirelessly, just like everyone else, to try to make this the easiest transition for everyone. So the plan currently is for them to drop box lunches and box breakfast off at the classrooms, and then the students will eat within their classrooms with their teachers.
So that is at the Little Elementary, 200 Wilson, Casey Ling. It's going to be delivery right to the classrooms. That seems like almost like a novel idea, like a first class, experience. You come to school, the room service is delivered. So at the secondary, the middle school and high school, what's the plan for breakfast and lunch?
What we're doing for breakfast is going to be a grab and go breakfast. So when the students come in, they would do traditionally like they would have done normally, is grab their breakfast. And generally they would eat it in the cafeteria, but now they're going to be grabbing their breakfast and they'll be going to their first hour classroom, and they're going to be eating it in there. But for lunch, we're doing a little differently than what they're doing down in the elementary school. Is we're going to release by classroom. So the classroom is going to come down to the lunchroom, so we can still provide a full service lunch for those kiddos. And they're going to be taking that lunch back to their classroom, and they're just going to be eating it in their classroom. And then we'll dismiss the next room to go.
So it's going to be staggered. So one class comes down,
Correct.
Gets their lunch, and goes through. Well, that seems to make a lot of sense. We're avoiding a lot of congregation, large bodies of students together. So what about our cleaning protocols? I know, from a district-wide standpoint, we've bought static guns. We've got backpacks that we're going to be able to go in and sanitize every single night, every single day that the buildings will be clean and sanitized. So from that aspect, we're also going to be doing high touch points, places where people touch door handles will be cleaned more regularly and routinely, and as well as classrooms. It's my understanding that our protocols in place will be anytime there's a transition, that classrooms will be cleaned. Is that correct? That surfaces that students touch.
Yep.
Yeah. Every time we have a change from a class to class, we're going to go ahead and wipe down those high touch areas just to make sure that we are disinfecting in between each group of students.
And then at the elementary, it's every 4 hours minimum, maybe more than that we're doing the same thing there too. So we've got a lot of cleaning protocols in place. We're excited. Our team here, it just does an amazing job already. The buildings are tip-top shape right now as far as clean and organized. and very excited for the first day of students on August 24th and 25th, because we're going to have 2 first days, which will kind of be a bit kind of exciting. I don't know what you guys, not that first day isn't exciting enough on its own, but we get to have that experience twice. And so kind of the envy of everybody having 2 first days. I mean, it'll be a big year this year. So is there anything else that you guys would like to add?
What I'd like to ask is, if anybody has questions or concerns or wants to know what the process is, what are we doing here at school to educate their students or keep their kiddos safe, to reach out to us, ask us, if you have questions, and obviously, we're cognizant of what goes on social media, and there's a lot of false information that goes around that just causes harm. So I would much rather just contact us directly, so then we can, answer those questions, with a direct answer that is going to be, the truth.
Good point. The other thing I would just want to review before we close is sick students. Anybody that is sick. I know for staff, we do a protocol, a questionnaire. We make sure that they don't have a fever, all the other symptoms, that they do not have any illness. With students, we're asking that parents do that. If they come to school and there's any sign of any sickness, what happens? What's the protocol?
We just ask that you keep them home if the kids are sick. Obviously, in normal situations, if your child is sick with the temperature, we ask them to stay home as well. But especially during these times, even if it's not COVID symptoms, we would like them to stay home just to be safe. We want to take the extra precautions because we want to be able to tell parents that we are doing everything we possibly can to be the safest in our schools as we can.
Also too, we're going to be having quarantine rooms for the students. So if there is a student that starts feeling ill during that day, we'll have them come down. They can go down to a room where, they're going to be socially spaced, far apart, waiting for parents to come and get them. We just, we want to make sure that the kids are going to be safe. And to reiterate what Lori said, if you feel like your child is sick that day, with any symptoms of anything at this point, I'd rather have you keep them home and learn remotely that day.
So that brings up a good point, Keith. You talked about learn remotely that day when we're in school. So we're going to have what's called synchronized instruction for the most part, where we have students choosing to be remote and not come to school at all. And they're going to be assigned to their classroom teachers, and then be able to do that work and do that learning at home. And then we'll have students that come here to school. And at the start of school, the plan is that we're in a hybrid model to begin with. After we get past that soft start 50%, we have 3 weeks that students will be here for part of the week. And then on Fridays is a virtual day. That's a hybrid model that we're utilizing to start off the year. After that, right now we're waiting for the governor, the legislators to kind of provide some guidance. We don't want to get ahead of them, but our plan, just like as you had mentioned, Keith, to hey, if somebody's sick, they go remote, is to provide a tailored fit education. And so, if a kid's sick a couple days, they automatically fall into that remote learning in that hybrid model, even if we were back 5 days a week. And so we've got the Hemlock Hub as a resource for parents. We've got a ton of resources out there. We've been a one-to-one district for, 5 or 6 years? We're heading into year 6. Year 6 that we've provided one-to-one technology for students. And it's grown over the years. It wasn't always 1st through 12th, but it is 1st through 12th grade now, and actually 1st through early middle college. And so we provide, a device for all kids. And so it's easy for kids to transition from school to home in this next wave that we have prepared.
Don, and one more thing that I wanted to add, just so families are aware, is with the model that we went with for the soft start, going Monday and Wednesday, one group going Monday, Wednesday, one group going Tuesday, Thursday. The idea behind that is then they are with a teacher the next day. If they are virtual one day, the next day they're receiving that face-to-face instruction. If you've decided to send your students back to school, and that way, if they have any questions, it's only a day away from the previous lesson when they can get those questions answered. We want to be as receptive and helpful as we possibly can for our students. And when we did this in the spring, that was one thing that we learned from, is that there were some students that had questions through virtual learning, and we expect that there will be. This way, with that soft start, they can ask that very next day, and they don't have to wait until the next week. Or wait to ask them remotely. So I just wanted to clarify that too, in terms of why we chose to do the Monday, Wednesday, and then Tuesday, Thursday approach.
Fantastic. Well, so if anybody's got any questions, we're going to have the principal's contact information, the building's numbers up on the screen after this episode. And so please give us a call. We're going to be reaching out to our families this week, making sure they know about our plan, exactly what we're doing, and so we can move forward together. You guys have a fantastic day. Thank you for joining us on Over the Shoulder. This is season 3, episode 1. So very, very exciting.